companies that I have the ability where I'm already in contact with the decision makers in the boardrooms in many countries away. So at this stage, that is the reasoning.
Right. National security. You were able to do what the former Prime Minister, Dr. Kit Rowley, did not do, which is to get a new Minister of National Security and replace Fitzgerald Hines. What led you to that decision in replacing Fitzgerald Hines as Minister of National Security?
I wouldn't say I was able to do anything that the former Prime Minister wasn't able to do. Minister Hines has served an even longer tenure than I have as Minister of National Security. I held that portfolio previously. But as I said yesterday and as I said this morning, I think one of the things we're looking to do now is a new chapter. And what you're going to see is a lot of different things happening built on a solid platform. Minister Gonzalez is someone who I gave consideration to and chose. Minister Gonzalez in this term from 2020 has always served on the National Security Council. He has experience in the police service and attorney. Where we are right now, Minister Gonzalez will take that portfolio, as you all have just seen, and Minister Hines, as you would see, I've brought him in to the office of the Prime Minister, but Minister Hines has a lot of strengths, and there are certain strengths I want to deploy with respect to Minister Hines a little closer to me.
Prime Minister Mr. Imbert would have served for close to a decade as Finance Minister. Can you tell us what was behind the decision to replace him as Finance Minister now in public utilities, if I'm not mistaken, and replace him?
Yes, so Minister Imbert is the longest service Minister of Finance in Trinidad and Tobago, and I thank him. I thank him for his service. He's done a good job. He's provided a lot of stability. Our economy is a stable platform right now. But at this stage, based on some things that I intend to do in the not too distant future, and I needed him in a different portfolio, and you would have seen who I've brought in is former High Commissioner Dan Paul, but more importantly, former PS in the Ministry of Finance, Vishnu Danpal, who is someone that could literally hit the ground running in the Ministry of Finance. I think the timing is right. So all of the changes you see here in the cabinet today are very carefully thought out changes, and these changes, you the population now will be able to see certain movements being made. As I've said, I said clearly yesterday and as I said this morning, this is a new chapter, and I look forward to building on it.
Sorry, I know that people will ask, so I'm asking, did it have anything to do, of course, with the Auditor General issue?
No, it had nothing to do with the Auditor General issue. That matter has been dealt with. There is no missing money, despite what certain people want to keep trying with that narrative and trying with that narrative. The time is right. The population are looking on, and what we're doing now is a new chapter.
Prime Minister, do you think that some of these senior government ministers, such as the Finance Minister and National Security Minister, would see the reassignment as a demotion, and how do you plan to manage that?
I absolutely hope they don't see it in that way whatsoever. As you say, they're senior members, and they've also served in many previous governments, many previous PNM governments. Let me tell you all something. Change and the shifting around and the reshuffling of a cabinet is absolutely nothing that is abnormal. But what you've seen with us as a PNM government for the last 10 years, and in particular even with this opportunity of a new Prime Minister coming in, is you're not seeing what you saw in previous governments. You're not seeing shifts every Monday morning, etc. It was an opportunity for us to take strategic decisions, for me to look at it strategically, knowing what I want to do in the future, and realign certain portfolios and ministers. So they should not at all see it as a demotion. These things happen very often. In fact, if you look at the previous cabinets, I think I was one of the most reshuffled ministers in the last 10 years, and at no period in time should a minister see that as a demotion. They're still there as part of the government.